The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad. Welcome to Liberated Sisters, recorded live right here at Morris Media Studios in the beautiful Lamert Park. So today we have a special tribute to our big brother, our Nation of Islam pioneer, the Rock of the South, Brother Minister Emeritus Abdul Rahman Muhammad. We have Brother Jesse Muhammad, who will be joining us with the Farrakhan Factor, and we have two special guests. We'll announce them coming up. We're going to be tributing Brother Rahman. But first, the Justice Report. Today's Justice Report, straight out of the Final Call newspaper, finalcall.com. The cover story, oh wow, our three brothers are talking about being blocked out. We have, there they are, Brother Irvin Magic Johnson of the LA Lakers fame, among other things. Brother LL Cool J, hip-hop rapper pioneer, as well as rap pioneer, hip-hop pioneer, Brother Ice Cube. They're all prominent businessmen, and they are being blocked out. Hip-hop legend and entrepreneur Ice Cube, along with LL Cool J and Magic and others, want to buy a regional cable sports network, but the founder, Ice Cube, right, of the Big Three Basketball League says the other side is not playing fair and wants the Justice Department to get involved. So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan tells us repeatedly that business is warfare, and our brothers are experiencing that here. Let's take a listen to Minister Farrakhan on business is warfare in his own words.
Economics is the business of life itself. In the word business is business, and what is the activity of life? The activity of life for every living creature is to do something for itself. I opened my window to my bedroom the other day, and I saw all these hornets. And they had built a nest right up in the corner of where my window opens. And I looked at that and I said, nah, the Bible is sure right. Foxes have holes and birds have nests. Yeah, right. And our people are homeless, out of doors, and naked. Something is wrong with that picture. And that's why the scripture refers to us as a dead people, not physically dead, but mentally dead, spiritually dead, because had we been alive, we would be in the business of life. And what is that? Preparing food, clothing, shelter for yourself and your people. Having land where you can dig into that earth and produce products to give to your people and sell the surplus making trade and commerce a part of the activity of living people. So when we say business is warfare, it shouldn't be that way. But it is that way when black people decide that we are going to do something to help ourselves. The enemy that has been sucking the lifeblood out of us all of these years feels threatened because our pocketbook has been their bank.
That's right.
And they keep going in, building, and while we're sitting, suffering. So with us, when we do business, it's warfare with them. So we've got to be on a war footing too. So every business in this city of Chicago, when our brothers and sisters came up from the South in the early 20th century, they knew what segregation caused them to have to do. They had their own this, their own that. So when they came up from the South, the Southern black man was the top businessman, and Chicago was the mecca of black entrepreneurship. But every generation, it got weaker and weaker, and now those same business people that made Chicago our mecca for business, Detroit, a mecca for business, New York, a mecca for business. Now everywhere you look, we are out of business, and foreigners, immigrants are in our community taking the lifeblood of our community. So we've got to look at it like it's warfare. You can't go in the Chinese community and set up a chow mein shop.
Right.
No, you can't go in the Italian community and set up noodles. As much as we like noodles, we're going to have our own. You can't even set up a barbecue place. And that's because they can do the same thing, and they feel they can do it better. We got to do something for self and fight to preserve, protect, and develop where we live and give our people our needs.
I was told to deliver this message. You think you're invincible because you got money, bombs, guns, and planes, killing babies, innocent people. I think you're insane. Chaos and destruction is the name of your game. Somebody's got to stop you before the whole world goes up in flames. So he told me to tell you, I'll
fight for my brothers. We can go to war. Fighting for my father, I will give my life for. I feel so alone in this white.
Hey, you know what time it is. I'll fight you, the Farrakhan Factor. Let's bring on Brother Jesse Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Jesse.
Wa alaikum salam.
How you doing, brother?
Man, look, when you play that song, you already know.
Well, thank you for joining us. We know you're out pushing in the field with the mighty FOI. Give them all the greetings. We pray Allah bless you all on your posts. And let us have the Farrakhan Factor today. And as you know, we are honoring the Rock of the South, the Minister Emeritus Abdul Rahman Muhammad, who has made his transition. So let's get into the Farrakhan Factor, Brother Jesse.
You know, absolutely, beloved. And I must say that what better way to honor our pioneers than to have discussions like this over the airways, and then to be out here in the streets to do exactly what he did and had been doing for decades under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and that's involving himself in the resurrection of our people. So as we've been out here pushing the paper, still pushing the cover of Nipsey Hussle on the Final Call, we're honoring and remembering our brother who was always about the work. And for the Farrakhan Factor, I wanted to share some of the most intimate times I've ever seen our beloved brother Abdul Rahman with the minister was at the dinner table. And one of the last dinners that I was blessed to share with both of them, I mean with force, were strongly encouraging us to stop being slow in our work. And Brother Rockman laid to us out how his day would actually start as he served under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as a minister. He said nobody ever would beat him to the mosque and nobody would beat him to the street. He said he never was found sitting around at home waiting on some of the other followers to do something. He always led by example by leading the charge in fishing, leading the charge in charity, leading the charge in pushing papers. So Brother Rockman, in his voice, he would say, y'all got to work, man. He said, I don't understand how you can call yourself a minister and a helper of Farrakhan and you lazy. He said Elijah didn't stand for it and Farrakhan ain't standing for it. And he said, I'm not standing for it.
Right.
Y'all stop being lazy. He said, I would work all day. He said, from the time I got up, I'm thinking about helping Elijah.
Wow.
And he said, from the time you get up, you should be thinking about helping Farrakhan.
Wow.
And he said, but it all is rooted in, he said, we got love for our people. And he said, if you don't have love, you can't sustain yourself and have longevity in this mission.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was going in, but we could tell he had the love, and it was a sense of urgency from him. And him and the minister, you know what's so amazing, Sister Charlene? Some of us can't remember what we wore last week. But these men can remember, they going back to 1962, what day of the week it was, who was around, what they had on.
That's right.
And their memory was so profound. And so profound.
Yeah.
And I am just so grateful to Allah that just like his book is titled, we all had the blessed opportunity to walk with a giant. And we just pray to Allah that we all know that a spirit of the rock, he is a reflection of the man that we're striving to all follow, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Yeah.
And just like you said in Scripture, I was thinking about our brother this morning. I saw a young brother named Jabril who did a beautiful sketch of Brother Abdul Rahman that I shared on my social media pages. And I was just thinking about in Scripture, you know, he talked about Peter. And Jesus said, on this rock, you know, I build my church. And the minister broke it down for us. I know you remember at Savior's Day 97.
Come on.
You know, he said Peter at his root, you know, means petroleum, oil. So it's like at its root, in order to be the rock, to be a rock, you got to have some oil in you that sustains you and oil and light that you give it off.
Yeah.
So Brother Rockman, a.k.a. the Rock of the South, the brother had oil in him from Elijah and Farrakhan, but he was always rubbing that oil off on us. I mean, we just saw pictures of those that were with him on Sunday, Sister Charlene, smiling just as bright and still rubbing oil on the younger ones and the older ones. So that Farrakhan factor is today is that Brother Abdul Rahman, all the way to his last breath, and his spirit lives on. He's a reflection and a mirror of the spirit of a helper of Elijah and Farrakhan that we all pray and hope to reflect. And this for us as an NOI is that message to us as this is going around the world and we're standing here in the street. The marathon definitely continues. So Brother Abdul Rahman ran that race. That man has kept that baton up a long time.
That's
and
right.
It was some of us. He was moving faster than us in his scooter machine.
I know, right? Like, catch up.
Y'all gonna have to catch up.
Yeah.
Still was teaching.
Yeah,
You know,
that's right.
Lectures. So
Wow.
we thank Allah for his life. We thank Allah for his example. And we thank Allah for the continued presence of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and all those that have laid this foundation for us. And we thank them for it, and they have been a major factor in our lives. And we pray that we will be a factor in the people's lives, that we will touch with our petrol, with our oil, with our light.
That's right. Thank you so much for the Farrakhan factor, Brother Jesse, and a great segue because I have a clip of Brother Abdul Rahman Muhammad speaking from Mosque Mariam and in that very passion that you're speaking about. So we're going to run that. And also, everyone stay with us. We have some special guests, inshallah, God willing, coming up. And we have a segment for the Liberated Sisters book report, but it also actually the sister has a one-woman play, the Fannie Lou Hamer story. So the show is packed today. Yeah, but thank you so much, Brother Jesse. And let's hear from Brother Abdul Rahman. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Jesse.
Wa alaikum salam.
In the name of Almighty God, Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the God that the world had been looking for, prophesying that would come, came to North America. He came to the worst part of America. He came to Paradise Valley, what we call Black Bottom in Detroit. He came seeking to save that which is lost. And he found a humble little man from the clay hills of Georgia. And we look at the education that he previously had, we can say God chose the least of the least in order to show forth his power. Took him under his wings and taught him for 3.5 years and then disappeared. Dressed him up with power. Fixed him where the enemy couldn't touch him. And he built the consciousness and built the consciousness of black people throughout the world. And he built a nation in the middle of this nation that no one had ever seen among black people. He built what we call maybe a $200 million empire. And then he says, I'm going to let it get torn to pieces. And he said, I'm going to get out of the way and show forth the power of my God. And he left. And the great nation of Islam went down to little of nothing. But there was one laying in the wings. One who had the aspiration of healing the souls and minds of black people. So one day he said, I'm going to rebuild the nation of Islam. And here's a man going to rebuild something, but he ain't got nothing to start with. And then looking back on that, in building and helping the Honorable Elijah Muhammad build such a great nation, people will say, well, why wasn't any of the wealth shared with the ministers? That's a good question, because we helped the messenger attain it. So why we didn't get what we call something on his departure? But once we realized he did leave us the most valuable thing that could be left to a people. He told me one day, he said, son, as long as one of us believe, the devil can't win. He said, just one. Now here the world is trying to write Elijah Muhammad out of history. They tried to write him out. They took this building here laid in waste. Padlocks was on the door. All through the temples and mosques throughout the country, Elijah Muhammad's picture was taken out of the temples and the mosques around the country. Elijah Muhammad's name was what we may say bad language to the new Muslims. So Farrakhan said, I'm going to rebuild this. There's a man standing dead broke. It reminds me of Noah. When God told Noah to build the ark, he didn't have no wood. He didn't have no nails. He didn't have no hammers. But he got to work so he could get him a hammer, so he could get him some nails, so he could get him some wood. But My little talk is today about the faith of Farrakhan. He had the faith in a word that Elijah Muhammad left with us, that he told us the truth about the God who had came. Now, that's kind of hard to believe in a God if you didn't see it in another man. So Farrakhan saw it in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, he stood up in the midst of enemies. Oh, I wish I could paint the picture better to you. The traditional world of Islam was against him. Huh? So-called our people was against him. Everybody was against him. But he took that word that Elijah Muhammad had willed to all of us and began to rebuild the nation of Islam. Then this glorious, beautiful building here, we retrieved it. He retrieved the palace. He retrieved the palace in Phoenix, Arizona. He began to build. Huh? And he brought about things that we couldn't even imagine. He had to have faith, the greatest of faith, to say, I want 1 million black men to come to Washington. Now that's faith. Because you can't get 2 of us together to go and do nothing, nowhere, especially on a work day, on a Monday. Now he had to have faith to call for 1 million men to come to Washington, D.C. But we had over 2 million to come. Now, why I chose to talk about his faith, because through his faith, all of us who call ourselves Muslims, all of you who are listening to him and believe in what he said, meaning you are saved through his faith. Not your faith, his faith. He has saved us all. All praise is due to Allah. I love Minister Farrakhan with all my heart and all my soul. Long live Farrakhan. Long live Farrakhan. Long live Farrakhan. Assalamu alaikum.
Long live Farrakhan, Brother Abdul Rahman Muhammad says. And we say long live Brother Minister Abdul Rahman Muhammad. This is Liberated Sisters. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad. Thank you all for tuning in. I see your comments, Sister Edith Malachi. Yes, may Allah be well pleased with our beloved brother. Sister Aisha, thank you for tuning in. He will be missed, a walking history book for the Nation of Islam. Sister Valerie, thank you as well. Always, you guys are always here with Liberated Sisters at Morris Media Live, Morris Media Studios. Sister Valerie says, we love you, Brother Rahman, and we pray that Allah is pleased with you. Absolutely we do. And we can't leave out Brother Kevin, who's here every week. Kevin Muhammad, long live our brother soldier, Brother Abdul Rahman Muhammad. You know, I was going to play, and there are interviews out there, right? His history with Muhammad Ali, his history in pioneering the nation, and with Minister Farrakhan. There is a documentary that's there, but for some of it I didn't want to play because I don't like the narrative that the enemy uses in telling the story. But I really was intrigued by what Brother Abdul Rahman was saying, and so maybe I can cut some of it out and bring it another time. So we're going to be hearing from more about Brother Abdul Rahman and the tribute. We may be having Brother Student Minister Carlos Muhammad out of Bmore, Baltimore, coming on, and this is just really something that we are experiencing in the nation. But we know that the remains go back to the earth, but the spirit never dies. And thank you, Sister Colson. Yes, Brother Rahman's voice will be heard in our hearts as we hear the teachings for years to come. And so as we do that, we're going to, let's see, do we have Brother Carlos? Okay, great. Before we bring in Brother Carlos, who is here with us, I want to let you know that we have a beautiful sister coming up next, and I want to thank my very dear friend. Oh, my God, she's so wonderful, Sister Idria Davis. She's always sharing wonderful information with us, and we have a sister that's with us, Mzuri Moyo Ambaye, and if I said it incorrectly, she will definitely let me know. But she has a one-woman play, the Fannie Lou Hamer story, and it opens here in L.A. tonight, and so we want to bring you that information. But right now, we're going to turn to Brother Carlos Muhammad. Brother Carlos, Assalamu alaikum, Student Minister Carlos. Are you there? Brother Carlos is with us. I can kind of hear some of his activity, but I don't want to jump to sister and then jump back to Brother Carlos, but I may do that because what we're doing is it's very fluid. And so we will get with Brother Carlos very soon, you all. Perhaps, I know he's joining us from vacation. I hope he doesn't mind me saying that. But, and that's what makes it so special, right? We love Brother Rahman. And so Brother Jesse poured in with the Farrakhan factor. We were going to hear from another special guest, Brother Abdul Akbar Muhammad, our international representative for the Nation of Islam, and Minister Farrakhan, but I believe he is on travel status right now. And so we will come back with Brother Carlos. We're going to dip right now. Okay, I can hear you, Brother Carlos.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, dear brother. I said, how are you?
I'm good. Hold on one second. Let me connect this piece.
Okay. He's real. Listen, if you don't know, Brother Carlos is real techie, right? So whatever it is that he's trying to do is going to be very good.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely. I got you, Brother Carlos. Thank you for joining us. Brother Carlos, in addition to being our student minister, what's our mosque in Baltimore? Forgive me. It escapes me now.
Number 6.
Oh, my God. Number 6. He is also our NOI archivist. He is our national archivist. A great work. If you've ever experienced what he does and the presentation, it's really beautiful. So, Brother Carlos, thank you for that.
Thank you, sister, for always looking out for me and making sure that I have a platform. And always, when we need you on this end for our platforms to get our message and narrative out, it's always good to have colleagues and brothers and sisters in faith to latch on to and do our great work.
Yeah, praise be to Allah. Yes, it is. We are a family. And share with us, oh my God, and you shared some beautiful images of Brother Minister Abdul Rahman online, but give us your perspective of his life and his legacy.
Well, first and foremost, our prayers and condolences are with our beloved brother's family. We know that the beauty of our religion, the religion of Islam, is that when we come to it, there's a verse in the Quran that says, "O you who believe, keep your duty to Allah as it ought to be kept, and die not unless you die in a state of submission or die as Muslims." And we know that our brother and friend, Minister Abdul Rahman Muhammad, gave his life to the service of Islam in America as a great helper to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and a companion to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I can know from my close relationship with him that when I heard the news, though I was saddened, I was joyful in the sense that I know that my brother returned to Allah as a believer. I was blessed to see an image of him that was taken just on Sunday.
Wow.
So to know at the mosque, so to know that he was at the mosque on Sunday and maybe 24 hours or more, his Lord called him back. What better way to go? And I don't believe that Allah took him in a way that was painful or tragic. Allah takes his servants in a way that he lets us know that he was ready to go. And so that I just wanted to say that in reference to our brother, but to kind of get to his life in terms of his service historically, Minister Rahman came to the Nation of Islam in the year 1955. And he heard the message, and like many of that day as well as today, he was, kind of into some of the things in the street life. He liked to shoot pool and gamble a little bit, but he heard the teachings and it touched him. And he began to go and listen to the message of Islam. And then he went out on the West Coast, actually, believe it or not, is where he actually got registered in Los Angeles. And then eventually, that's some history you didn't know.
No, I did not. Explains it all.
Yeah. So he actually got registered out on the West Coast, and he came back to Atlanta, and then eventually was down in Miami, where he was captain. But prior to that, coming from the West Coast, he actually moved to Chicago and became a lieutenant and became a part of the honor guard of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad before going down to Miami and eventually meeting Muhammad Ali or Cassius Clay at that time and helping bring him out. I know we're kind of jumping over, but Minister Rahman basically accepted Islam and basically took off in the work.
Yeah. Wow. And, he said voice that you can hear always, Farrakhan.
Yeah.
Just a staunch supporter. When I woke up and I started seeing that, I kind of was thrown off. Brother Carlos, we're going to be hearing from and you may love this. I hope you get a chance or opportunity to go back and view it. But a sister, Mzuri Moyo Ayimbe, is going to be speaking right after you about her one-woman play, The Fannie Lou Hamer Story. There's more to the title.
Oh.
Yeah, but I just wanted to just mention that I still was so honored that we could I don't want to say rush a tribute because we just switch and we move like student minister Abdul Allah would say, right? That's how we're alive.
Yes.
But in terms of his role with Muhammad Ali, let's just talk about that because a lot, when our brother Muhammad Ali passed away, the enemy was trying to he really was rewriting the narrative, but the Muslims were like, no, those who knew and loved Brother Rahman and would not see his place in history wiped out, corrected that real quick.
Yeah. Well, I can say the narrative, the true narrative is that Muhammad Ali was in Miami and he was kind of, near the mosque and, he was out that way moving around in his training, and he heard the backdrop of Minister Farrakhan's message in the song "A White Man's Heaven is a Black Man's Hell." And when he heard one of the brothers reciting that to him, as they saw him, they recognized him. They went up, they were selling the paper, and they called Minister Rahman over, and Minister Rahman began to he was Captain Sam at that time. Samuel X. Saxon at that time. He began to quote that record, but Muhammad Ali had already heard it, or Cassius Clay had heard it because it was a jukebox hit, and he said, "Oh, brother, I recognize that," and that began the communication between the two, and eventually Captain Sam, worked on him to bring him to the mosque to hear the message, and the rest is history. A lot of the famous quotes of Muhammad Ali are actually from Minister Abdul Rahman, and we're going to be putting up a video clip of that in a few minutes after we get off of Minister Rahman actually explaining it even deeper himself in terms of how he met Muhammad Ali and the quotes.
Yeah, right. And of course, he was singing the song, right?
Yes. Yeah. A white man's heaven is a black man's hell.
Yeah. That's right. Brother Carlos, Student Minister Carlos, pardon me, I want to ask if you would add anything that you think our Liberated Sisters viewing audience should know about our beloved pioneer. I mean, when we think about that word pioneer, just trailblazer in the Nation of Islam, would you do so now? And we'll make way for the Fannie Lou Hamer story.
Got you. Just really quickly, when you look at a man that joined in 1955 and by 1966, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad purchased a beautiful mosque in the city of Miami, Florida, and moved him in there as captain, and of course our pioneer brother, Minister Troy B.R., as minister. And from that, he served as a great captain. Then the Honorable Elijah Muhammad made him a field minister, and then eventually asked him would he take over Mosque number 15 in the year 1969. And Brother Rahman said he didn't really want to do it because he felt he didn't want to go back and try to labor in the city where they had done a lot of dirt.
Atlanta.
And he said, Honorable Elijah, Atlanta. He said, Honorable Elijah Muhammad laughed at him and said, "Oh, brother, I used to cut the fool in Georgia too, but Allah saved us, so go on back." Wow. He said, I used to cut the fool in Detroit where Allah saved me. He said, but the people didn't hold that against me. So you go on to Atlanta and do your work. And from 1969 to 1975, Minister Rahman built that mosque up. They had 2 mosques. Wow. And eventually a full University of Islam, bakeries, businesses, all of that going on in Atlanta. And he became the Southern Regional Minister and eventually the Minister of Mosque number 45 in Houston during the transition.
Houston,
and,
whoa.
Number 45. And eventually, lastly, the nation went through a transition. So he began to work again with Muhammad Ali in travel. And in 1982, he said that he could hear the voice of Allah telling him to go help Minister Farrakhan. And so in 1982, he came back to the Nation of Islam and back to the side of his brother and companion, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and the rest is history. And so from that point to yesterday, he served his nation, served his beloved minister, and served all of the believers well.
That's right, where he remained. Oh, my God. Thank you so much, Student Minister Carlos, for that very short journey down history lane as we tribute our brother, student minister. That's Minister Emeritus Abdul Rahman Muhammad. Thank you so much for being with Liberated Sisters. Yes.
Thank you. And if I could, before you move on, if your listeners want to see what we've been talking about, we're going to be running history on our Instagram page at NOI Archives. At NOI Archives on Instagram all day so that you can learn more about the life and legacy of our Minister Abdul Rahman. But Sister Charlene, and to your guests that we're going to be hearing from in a few minutes, thank you all so much for just giving me a few minutes to share. And your brother's always here for you, especially for the Liberated Sisters.
Praise be to Allah. Thank you so much. You answered the call. I really appreciate it. And Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Wow, NOI Archives on Instagram. You don't want to miss it. That's going to be great. Brother Carlos has and the nation pours in real detailed artifacts and different articles and different pictures. It's just really a wonderful thing. So we're going to turn now to our sister in studio, Mzuri Moyo Ayembe. Greetings.
Greetings, sister.
How are you doing?
Absolutely wonderful.
Oh, you're so beautiful. Let me touch you. I like to touch
I'm your reflection, my dear.
Praise be to Allah. Well, thank you so much. My great sister, Idria Davis, made me aware of you. And so thank you for your patience as we paid honor to our brother, Abdul Rahman. Yes. But I want to let you know that our sister is here, and I want to give them the whole spiel, and then you just tell us how this came about. So the way I learned about sister is she's an award-winning singer and actress and playwright. And she has a riveting I'm just so caught up by Brother Rahman, but she has a riveting performance of her acclaimed stage play, and it's about our civil rights great, our beloved Fannie Lou Hamer. And so the First African Methodist Episcopal Church, we know it, fame right here in our community. Pastor J. Edgar Boyd urged the audience during that performance to promote the play because of its social redemption value. And so what the fame members did was they delivered and provided space for 4 additional performances, right?
Yes.
4 additional performances of the Fannie Lou Hamer story, Sick and Tired of Being Sick and Tired. And this is at the Willie Aggie?
Yes, or the Inglewood Playhouse.
Okay. Oh, the Inglewood Playhouse. Yes. And it opens today the 23rd, and it closes this Friday, the 26th. So it's 1 week, but they provided these additional performances. So shout out to Fame. A big applause for Fame. Thank you all for doing that. And this is under the direction of our brother. He's here in studio too, Brother Byron C. Saunders. Yay. And so, thank you so much, both of you. So tell us about what inspired this.
Well, I am from New Jersey. And yes,
love it.
Are you East Coast?
I'm from Louisiana, but I'll claim it all. I'll claim it all.
And I was watching Like It Is. Brother Gil Noble, may he rest in peace, had Fannie Lou Hamer on his television show called Like It Is, and I saw her in an interview, and she blew me away. Wow. And this is many, many years ago, because I've been doing the play now for 18 years, and it took me a minute. I kept saying, I'm going to write a play on Fannie Lou Hamer. I didn't think I was a writer, right?
Right.
Loved Langston Hughes in high school, you know. But I kept saying, I'm going to write it. And this is kind of not predating computers, but everybody didn't have computers like they have now.
Not all this tech. That's right.
So I was kind of not knowing the direction I was going in, because I'm a trained nurse. But I always wanted to be a singer and actress.
Wow.
So, but I didn't go to school for that. So I was kind of like not doing the nursing thing, and I was kind of like, you know, helping a friend out. And I went on a gig for a friend, and there was a gentleman there, and he said, "What do you do?" And I said, "I'm a singer, and I'm going to be writing a play." And I said, "But I need a computer." He said, "You got it."
Whoa, look at that.
The computer sat in the corner for 6 months.
Wow.
Then finally, something pushed me. I started hearing phrases like, "My back may have been crumbled and worn from 1,000-pound days, and 6 generations of fingers have been swole from cotton picking, and many a human spirit have been crushed and splattered by hatred and racism."
Whoa.
Bomb. I'm like, what? I wrote it down.
You did. You got that computer out that corner, didn't you?
Girl, it made me pull that computer out. I started hearing things, started coming, and and then I went to the Schomburg, shout out to the Schomburg in Harlem, and I started doing the research on her.
Wow.
And sister, all I can say is that it's a God-given thing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Wow.
And for a while, my wonderful husband, Jehudi Sehotep, let me just give him a shout out, I met him when I was living here in North Hollywood 6 years ago online on Match.com. And I kind of brought him into the fold. And, he started being my marketing person and all of that. And he would write that, I'm a writer. And I'm like, I'm not a writer.
Are we factual? Like, we're very factual.
You can put I'm a singer, But anyway, it wasn't until I met this gentleman over here in the corner, Byron C. Saunders, who has been in theater for 40 years, ran his own theater down in Atlanta. I sat on boards and, commissions for the arts and all that. God blessed me with Byron. Byron is doing a film on Fannie Lou Hamer.
Oh, wow.
So God brought us together, and Byron was my dramaturg. He helped me put the play, because I'd been doing this for 18 years.
Wow.
Without a director. I've had people to consult.
Or computer.
I've had people to consult, but I didn't have a director until I met Byron.
Wow.
And he served as my dramaturg. And let me tell you, when he helped me to put the script together the way it is now, I became a writer. Oh. He validated me as, yes, Mzuri, you are a writer. Whoa. Thank you, Byron. So now I don't get squeamish when somebody says that I'm a writer, okay?
Yeah. Oh, my God. And you just transformed into her right there. I could see the impact and the effect of what you both do, because you just switched it right on. But it's in. I feel like she's in you.
Well, it's God. It's all God. Let me tell you, because this is something bigger than me. And Byron and Jehudi, because we've been working on this now, because Jehudi came in when I had been doing it by myself for 13 years. Mm-hmm. Then he came on board. Now we got Byron on board, and Adria's on board. I mean,
That's
it's
right.
like
And Liberated Sisters.
and now Liberated Sisters is on board. So it's like, oh my God! Wow. So all these God moments, are happening, and tonight at Centinela Park, Willie Agee Theater. By the way, I ran into Mr. Agee at the State of the Mayor's address last week, and he said, I want to buy a ticket. So he's coming tonight. He's going to be there at the theater.
Wow.
So
and you have the whole week.
4 performances starting tonight. Yes.
Well, how do you feel about that fame, the way that Pastor Boyd and the congregation just backed you?
Let me tell you, there are no words to explain the gentle, kind, humble spirit of Pastor Boyd.
Come on now.
And he has a member in his church by the name of Roz Freeman, who I can't tell you, this woman she said to me 4 years ago when she met me in Cincinnati, my husband and I were living in Cincinnati, and she said, I'm bringing you to LA, to my church. Mm-hmm. And it didn't happen the way she thought, this church, that church. And then finally she was knocking on the door. She became a member at Fame. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, when the door opened, and Pastor Boyd opened the door and allowed us to step in, he has been nothing but support. Shout out to Pastor Boyd and all of the members at Fame. We welcome you tonight. Please come through. Rosalind Freeman, we love you dearly. She has been such a supporter.
Ms. Freeman.
Oh my God. And
I want to show this.
Yeah.
But I don't see it. But go ahead. Don't let me stop your flow.
Yes.
I'm gonna find it.
So we are now have joined forces with Juneteenth and making Juneteenth a national day of observance or holiday, whichever comes first. Because guess what? That is what we got after we were after slavery ended. Mm-hmm. What did they give us? The power to vote. You know what? Took 95 years for us to get that right. 1870.
And they're like,
reeling it back. Poll tax, KKK, lynchings, Fannie Lou Hamer's beating stopped us from voting. So when I see young people telling me that they don't want to vote, I go, wait a minute. Do you know that was what you got when you were freed from slavery? Was the right to vote. They passed the 15th Amendment that we could have the right to vote.
This is interesting. Well, yes. I want to show this. Let me see. Can you? Oh, okay, good. Look at this. All righty. TheFannieLouHamerStory.com.
And the back says,
Freedom from slavery gives me voting power, celebrating Juneteenth, June 19, 1865. This is in association with Sharon Grain Productions.
Yes, that's a wonderful person.
I really love this. If you all had those that are coming on that felt her spirit, how you just went right into Mama Fannie. How was the journey from doing it yourself to doing it with them? Like, what was something that you were able to keep and something that you were glad to let go of in the transition from doing it alone to having this great team?
Well, one of the things that I had to let go of is the belief that I was on my own.
Oh, was that hard? That's hard, huh? Because you let go of control, too. You let go of control.
I had to,
Somewhat.
Yeah, I had to, because listen, sister, I did the tech, I did the PR, oh my God, I made my own tickets. Oh my God. Wow. Oh my God.
How did you find the creativity, the space to create when artists handle the business side compared to the actual creativity?
It was probably raggedy. You know what I mean? But I did the best that I could do. I remember before I won the Adelco in New York City, probably 16 years ago. Yeah, well, it's 17. And I was doing it in a theater off Broadway on 42nd Street. I was working in the studio. And I put it together. So I put it together. Jeremiah Drake, who is wonderful, who was one of my first persons that helped me with the play. And so Jeremiah came down to the theater this one particular day. I knew that I hadn't sold any tickets.
Oh.
and it was raining. And so he came back to my dressing room and he said, Mzuri, there's 2 people out there, but that's a lot.
That's right. You give them that performance.
Because I've performed to nobody being in the audience.
Wow.
So I have those wonderful memories of, letting all, and so now let me just say, LA, I want to shout out to everybody has been so loving.
Good.
Oh my God. Sold Out Connections, Barbara. She is wonderful.
Wow.
Ethel Robinson. I mean, the people here have stepped up. And I was telling Byron on the way here, I have gotten so much love here in L.A.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
And including you.
Oh, thank you. It's my honor to have you here in Liberated Sisters. Thank you, Adria. What is Adolco? Pardon my ignorance, but what is
the
that?
Adolco is one of the New York City awards. It's a Black Theater Award. My husband coins it as the Black Tony, but yeah, it's the Adolco Award is the for Black Theater in New York City.
Oh, that is so wonderful. So your perseverance, your persistence, your consistency, tenacity, but I think it's your heart and your love to put out Fannie Lou Hamer's story.
Yes, and I also won the Atlanta Black Theater Festival Award. I won a triple play on there, best actress, producer, and director. And that's best actress, best play, and best something else. But that was before I met Byron, so now I'm really scared.
Oh, the sky's the limit. Yeah.
Yeah, we're headed to Broadway now. Let's see what happens.
What are you all doing on Saturday? Okay, you got to come in to do KPFK, my show on 90.7 FM, KPFK, because I would love to. Mr. Saunders on. Again, I apologize. We had this transition in the nation. And
we love you.
Yeah, but I have another show Saturday, so... Are you able to come?
What time is that?
You'll be done with your LA performances. However, you're going on. We don't know where it's next.
Let's see what happens. We'll keep in contact because we're expecting some great things tonight. Some wonderful people are coming through. We're welcoming. And the NAACP Theater of Beverly Hills Theater Awards Committee is coming. So let's see what happens with that. We'll see where we're going. We're headed. The sky is the limit.
Oh yeah, you had all this before you even got with Mr. Saunders. Oh yeah,
honey, listen. This is only my second session with this brother.
This is it?
No, I'm saying this is the second session that we've had together.
Wow.
To develop and for him directing me.
Yeah.
So so I'm like, oh my God. I said to him last night, what's it going to be like after 20 shows? He went, oh my God. So
I can see it. He's so happy. Let's say, look, they're loving you. That's right. Your determination has been mighty and rewarding. Thank you, Lisa Mosley, Sister Colsom. Akbar, her beautiful spirit is a part of our ancestors. But those 2 people have evolved to so many more today. They're just really coming, and congratulations are coming. So how can people get tickets?
Tickets, they can go online.
So we can sell it out.
Absolutely. Go online to www.thefannie, that's TheFannie, Lou, Lou, Hamerstory.com, HamerStory. .com, the Fannie Lou Hamer. Go on, scroll down to upcoming performances and just buy tickets. It's only $20.
It's only $20. And you can also call 347. Is that still
yes.
good? 347-395-0259. 347-395-0259. I have a favor.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you give us another line or two?
Sure. I worked on this here W.D. Marlowe plantation, where I was the timekeeper for 18 long years. And after several attempts to go register to vote, I was called in to come see him. Mr. D, that's what we had to call him. And with hatred dead clean up in his eyes, he looked at me. Fannie Lou, did you go down there and register to vote? And I took and addressed him, yes, sir. Mr. D, I did. Well, you know we ain't ready down here for this in Mississippi. Now what you gonna do? Mr. D, sir, I did not go down there to register for you. Sir, I went down there to register for myself. Well, if you don't withdraw, we gonna have to let you go. Well, I'll have y'all to know I left that night. 'Cause he might not have been ready, but we had been ready down here for the last 400 years. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
Oh my God. I'm kind of speechless. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's a spirit in this place right now. And I don't know why Adria chose me and Liberated Sisters, or maybe I just decided to open up the email. But I'm so glad that I did.
Give thanks.
Oh, wow.
Give thanks, my sister.
Friday is your closing?
Yes, ma'am.
I will be there.
Oh, God is good.
I will be there. I felt that. I feel Mama Fannie Lou, the sacrifices. See?
Oh, God. Oh, God. So great.
Yeah.
So great. Yeah.
You know who should know about you is the African American Cultural Center, Dr. Maulana Karenga, and all of those there. You said, yes. Oh, my God. They tribute to Mama Fannie Lou all the time. But I'm overwhelmed because it's just really, when we think about her and all of those who have gone before, they've gave so much.
The unsung heroes,
And the ultimate price.
Oh, yeah.
The ultimate price, and just fought every day, every waking minute, every night.
Mm-hmm. Dodging bullets because they wanted to vote.
Yeah.
So I say to all my young brothers that I was chasing down in the street down in Florida, trying to get them out to the polls to vote, telling me, no, I'm not voting and it doesn't matter. I want them in the House tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's who I want in. All those with that mindset to come through. Because down in Florida, I live in Florida now. We just fought to get that overturned, that people who were incarcerated couldn't vote.
Right.
And now they're trying to switch it back. But people overwhelmingly voted for people to be able to vote.
Yeah, the expungement. So they haven't stopped trying to pull that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, sister, I'm going to need to close soon. So you just broke me all down in a great way, Oh my God, I can't wait to see you in action. So your last remark before we leave today. Take a minute or two.
Geez. Listen, everybody, come one, come all. We have 4 days at the Willie Agee Playhouse in Edward Vincent Park, over on Warren Lane in Inglewood. Please come out. Please support us. We've got 60 seats for each night.
Intimate.
It's in your face. We've got 60 seats. Come out, support us. We are here to tell the stories of the people who have been forgotten. Please come out, support us.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, we cannot ever forget. So that is the FannieLouHamerStory.com. Sister, thank you so much for blessing us here in this studio, blessing Liberated Sisters. And that's our show for today. I want to say, remember FinalCall.com for the coverage on the blocked out brothers trying to buy the cable network. Also, there's so much in this issue of the Final Call as usual. It's jam-packed. We have, I don't want to go without mentioning, we have the brother Lil AD and sister Latanya Ward, FO, And some of the gang members are featured in the final call this week because out of our brother Nipsey Hussle's death, they are still moving for peace. We don't want to let that go by the wayside, and also many, many more stories. And so thank you so much, Sister Missouri. Thank you so much, Mr. Saunders, Adria Davis, Brother Jesse, Brother Carlos. We did not get one of our pioneers on, Brother Abdul Akbar Muhammad, but we'll come with him, God willing, on Saturday as well. Thank you, Sister Felicia, the Poetess Morris. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad saying if it's impacting our community or can uplift us as a people, let's talk about it. Peace.